Because a few years ago we actually went to Yulau and I was like, please make it work for us. And then we never came back, and we already decided to get married, but we never came back to Yulau. So when I told my husband, I was like, you know, he said like, no way, like we're not gonna. And he was like, okay, let's just go to Yulau, and like maybe he's just sassy. Like maybe we should like go and give him some cookies. 好，我是来自俄罗斯的宝贝。Wow. Here I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. And I stayed here for 6 years. He lets me go back home by myself. 但是他一直拒绝，所以我们分手了。
Say you have a husband.
Yeah, I do. Ta-da! My husband! Less than a year.
Can you tell us about some differences between like having a Russian boyfriend and Taiwanese?
Oh wow. Again, food. We're coming back to food. You don't really have to go back home and cook for him. There are plenty of choices around that he can buy himself. And people think it's normal to go out and eat outside or take out. Nobody will shame you for me, like being a girl, like doing your things, like having 2 jobs, not coming back home at a certain time, so you don't really cook or clean, because he will do it himself. He's pretty well, everything around him is organized, so this really makes people way more free. I mentioned, right, that I work at radio, and I also spend a lot of time here in the studio. My schedule is really hectic. Sometimes I have to go to radio because it's like 24/7. I have to go there on weekend or stay there till super late. I rarely at home. Sometimes I guess some like old ideas I've been taught growing up. I feel guilty. Oh my god, I'm not home. I have not cleaned. I have not cooked for him. Like, what if he is angry at me? What if I'm a bad wife? So I can call him and ask him like, do you want me to do something right now? Like go to a market? And he's like, no, you spend like your whole day working. Just come back home and relax already. I cooked already. Or I bought something for you. I really appreciate it. And I think this thing can exist only because the society is organized this way. It's convenient here.
Even considering only this food part, in Russia I remember like my mom, she cooked at least twice a day. She cooks breakfast and she cooks dinner, right? You wake up and you spend 1 hour for cooking breakfast, and evening you spend 1 more additional hour for cooking dinner, even more because you need to go to supermarket, buy things. Every day you spend like more time doing like things. And in Taiwan, you can free these 2 hours. You don't need to cook by yourself. You can just go to 7, can go to any restaurant downstairs, grab some noodles and eat real quick. Makes your life easier, gives you more time. But at the same time, Taiwanese have a lot of jaban. So
they jaban a lot. Chill. Like, don't jaban that much. It's not about time, it's about efficiency. Just do things faster, alright?
Tell us more about your relationship, some differences.
I really respect cultural ideas, and I usually don't make fun of them, I just accept them.
We are not making fun, it's just like...
it's just funny.
It is funny,
We're not making fun, it's just funny, so... Oh, we just moved in a new apartment. The apartment is great, it's really well organized. Usually kitchens are very small, but this place has a kitchen with a real stove, like a stove, there is a sink, and it's like, I know that in Bapamafa it's ma sounds.
Shape?
Yeah, like shape. And this part is for really large fridge. And I was so happy that everything is like organized kind of Russian way. Everything is closed. Then one day I come back home and our fridge stays in the living room.
In the living room?
In the living room next to a window. And I was like,
what the hell?
How about my convenience? How about this pretty kitchen? Like, it was so great, why did you create these complications? And she's like, you know, it's bad for feng shui.
Oh my god.
When the fridge door opens in the direction of stove.
It's bad?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Stove is fire and fridge is water. You know, it's bad when this kind of opposite elements meet, because it creates conflict. And if these things happen, then the family living in the place gonna have lots of conflict. Just turn it away so the fridge will open that direction. But he's like, no, it's impossible because that direction is the door to the bathroom. Supposedly dirty place. So if the fridge, which contains food, opens towards that direction, dirty energy will enter the fridge, and then people living in this house, their health will be poor. And he like explains everything to me, and it's like, don't make fun.
Oh my
Don't
god.
make fun. Be respectful.
不要笑，不要笑。
If it's very, very important to you, the fridge can stay next to the window in the living room.
Yeah.
There is some other thing that is bad. Like once you enter your room, like the apartment, you're not supposed to easily see the stove because stove, while being fire, it's also metal, and metal is kind of gold, equals to your money in the family.
Wow.
Right now we're thinking how we should like close the area so you won't see the stove once you enter it.
Today you're going back home and now your stove, sink, everything is in the bedroom now, right? Okay, this is nice.
When he mentioned the conflicts in the family, he was like, there will be conflicts in this family in fire and water like meat. And I was like, you know what, there are gonna be conflicts in this family if the fridge stays in the living room.
There'll be bigger conflict, yeah. I don't know, I guess also about feng shui. My wife is actually the same. There is no door in the kitchen, so you open the door in the apartment and you see the fridge. And one day she just bought some like, okay, sorry, but it's ugly drapes. So she just put it at the door entrance. What is this for? I said, because you need to cover, because when people like enter your apartment, fridge also represents money. As she told me, I'm not sure. Now it's like drapes. It's interesting how cultures are different.
He actually cooks. He's the one responsible for cooking.
Oh.
Yeah, the thing about fridge, he told me not to touch fridge at all because he likes lunch boxes. I will just be cooking a lunchbox for you every day and leave it on the kitchen table. Yeah, and you can just take it. And just right today, like to prove what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He, even though it's Saturday and I wanted to have some food outside, but he's like, no, the food that you have doesn't have enough protein. So he gave me a lunchbox with some
this
chicken.
Is so cool.
He cooked some chicken and broccoli.
Can he cook some for me too?
I will ask.
And wife always eats some food which is really stinky. I really hate it. She always buys, what does she call it?
Roll fine. Or,
Yeah.
no.
Ah, I know, this is Taiwanese la mi soa.
What is that?
So this is some kind of soup which is really stinky.
Ah.
And when she eats it, I always say, can you please go like far from me to eat this? Weird, yeah. Smells like socks, yeah, like dirty socks. And still, I cannot get used to some food. I'm not ready for this yet. What is your favorite Taiwanese food though?
Honestly, I really love Taiwanese breakfasts, but I'm not talking about this hanbao stuff. I like doujiang, I like xian doujiang things. So-called traditional Chinese food for breakfast. It's like different kind of buns and things made of rice, steamed rice, and doujiang. I love that a lot. Like, yeah, Taiwanese breakfast is just the best.
There was a period of time, maybe during 1 year, I always bought this doujiang and zhou.
And they add some pickles inside, which is just such a great combination. And some rou sui or rou something like it.
Pork floss maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that thing.
Ah.
Oh, it's great.
For me, it was always changing. When I just came to Taiwan, I fell in love with the bubble tea. And Junai cha was my favorite. I drank 1 cup of it every day. Then it was too sweet for me. Now I don't drink it at all.
I really actually fell in love with good black coffee. Really easy to get in Taiwan. People here really love drinking coffee. And a strong tea. Without any milk. And if you go to one of those tea stores, they use some special tea machine which looks like a coffee machine, which really like steams water to a certain degree, and then there is like little like nostril with hot air and hot water, and then they just brew it right in front of you, making all these pleasant sounds that remind you also of coffee shop. Yeah, it tastes differently.
This drinks culture is next level here. It's crazy. You just go to any store and it's like 50 different types of tea or coffee, and it's like, oh, the hell.
But besides that, you can also choose how cold or warm you want it to be, how sweet you want it to be, or you can add some things inside.
Yeah.
The first time they asked me so many questions, I was like, oh my god, I also trying to ask my, I don't know, some personal information like my passport number or something. That's how many questions they asked me. So it was quite scary to do it the first time.
25% of ice.
25%
30%
what is that?
of
And
ice.
It all has different like names in Chinese. Like you wanted zhengchang, or you wanted shao bing, or like wei bing, like wei tang, like
wei tang, ban tang. It's like I remember 我开始学中文的时候，我去买珍珠奶茶，我就写 OK 珍珠奶茶，给我一杯珍 珍珠奶茶 and they start asking you 那个这边微糖板糖你要怎么样
They also like have different kinds of 珍珠 like different like there's so many
and it's
things.
like 不好意思我不懂就是珍珠奶茶 okay like, oh do you remember we went to the TV program from Taiwan Plus before we went to Taoyuan right
Yeah.
and we went to the temple and it was our first time we kind of prayed for some luck or some improvement in our relationships and what did you get at the time?
So each time when you pray at the Taiwanese Dao system, you have different kind of божества.
Yeah.
And each of them has different like area of expertise. Depending on the question that you have, you kind of pray to a different god. So I decided to ask things about relationship, which is the expertise for Yue Lao. I asked like whether I'm gonna have a family in Taiwan. It was before I got married, like 2 weeks before I got married, or 3 weeks before I got married. And
I remember.
Yeah, and I was like asking him, and it was really like ridiculous because everything was filmed on camera and later showed on TV. I was like, should be some nice thing anyways, because religion is supposed to make you feel good. And so you ask a question and then you like there are certain things that you have to do and you get a prediction like on a paper. And the paper was like, no way or something, no possible.
It's like,
like at all. The thing that I like about religion in Taiwan, everything could be discussed. The reason why the god of love told you that the marriage is not possible is maybe because you were not nice to this god. And it was also mentioned on the prediction. It was like, have you forgot to pay tribute to some of the god that you prayed before? So the idea is that you have to, like when you have a problem in your life and you go to pray, first offer something to this god and then you ask for certain guidance and then you leave and then your life starts changing, and if it changes in the way that you want it, you're supposed to go back and offer some tribute, some cookies or whatever. Come like with these things and pray to the god again. Say like, thank you so much. I asked you about this before and look how my life is different now. How like I'm so happy right now. Because a few years ago we actually went to Yue Lao and I was like, please make it work for us. And then we never came back. And we already decided to get married, but we never came back to Yue Lao. So when I told my husband, I was like, you know, he said like, no way, like we're not good. And he was like, okay, let's just go to Yue Lao, and like maybe he's just sassy. Like maybe we should like go and give him some cookies. It's very interesting if you go to a temple, well, anywhere in Taiwan, you will see that most tributes are given to Yue Lao. Largest crowds of teenagers are around this area. It's very cute. Sometimes they offer bubble tea to Yue Lao. It's very, very
Oh,
cute.
really?
Yeah,
Wow,
so
that's so cute. Eventually, after our TV show, you went back to Yue Lao with some gifts, right?
Yeah, we went
to apologize.
just to make sure that,
like,
you know, sorry,
okay,
like, yeah, you made it work for us and we never thanked you. Thank you, yes. So.
Apparently, it worked because now you're married.
Yeah,
so
everything is fine, and he cooks lunchboxes
Chingonla.
for me. I mean, I should go to Yue Lao every week.
Tell this story, how you chose the date for wedding.
Most of important things and events in Taiwan are organized according to traditional calendar, lunar calendar. And every day is good for something or bad for something, and you can check it online. What days are good for example, moving your house or getting married. We wanted to get married before the end of the year, and it was like beginning of November already. We wanted it to be 2022. So we checked how many days we have. So we have only 1 week and I have to prepare, but if we don't do it, then we have to marry on some weird day, I don't know, like 15th of December. It doesn't mean anything for us. So we had to choose the closest to us because the date was pretty. It was also good for marriage. We went to this office, right? It's like an office that really finalizes your papers. And they were packed with people. And I talked to the guy who worked there. He's like, oh my god, so many people. Where's so many people? I told him, hey, it's because of Nongli. Like, check your Nongli. So yeah, people really believe in that stuff.
Our video is coming to the end. Thanks guys for watching it. Idiniao de Pindao, idiniao chu zhao ta de Instagram, inpian dicha ke zhao ta de link. So you can check how she dances, her life and everything. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.